Well, a very good evening and welcome to this fireside chat on the Youthful Voices for a Futuristic Public Service. And we are at the Kenya School of Government. And to drive this conversation, it's Principal Secretary, State Department of Public Service, Dr. Jane Imbunya. And I shall be your host, of course, Alina Shaban. Now, before we go any further, maybe it's important to know, Daktari, Madam PS, why a Friday night? Why Nyama Choma? You know, most of these conversations are had during the day, and people take it as a people would say it's a non-luxury situation. So why now?
To all our viewers at home and our audience here, this is public service. The State Department of Public Service and Human Capital Development. We are here at KSG. We came to have a chat with our youthful civil servants. So we came here to talk hard, eat hard, bond hard, and moving forward, we go into our offices on Monday with one resolve.
So I must say that's very, very unique. Of course, PS Jane is our host, and actually she's going to be running the conversation. I'd like to say thank you very much. So allow us to take our seats and we just jump right into it. As I said, Dr. we are live on NTV, and this is all about matters, understanding the youth service and giving them
giving them an opportunity to have their voices heard, so that moving forward with public sector reforms, we carry along their aspirations, because the future belongs to them. They are building the future for tomorrow.
All right. So I think it's very fair for us to take a very quick seat before we start this conversation. As you can see, we have quite a number of able panelists for this particular conversation. So if we could take our seats real quick and get on to it. Is its youth, and the young public servants are not leaders of tomorrow only, but they are the builders for today. Now, by listening to their voices, the State Department for Public Service and Human Capital Development is committed in building a public service that is future-ready, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of the citizens. Thus, the fireside chat with the State Department of Public Service and Human Capital Development and other stakeholders to create a more interactive platform for dialogue with young public servants, aka the youth, and who are actually the chief guests of this particular event tonight. So let's start with Mkosalama. Hi, everybody. How are you? All right, so let's start off by introducing our variable panelists, starting with my immediate right. This is Senator Honorable Dr. Isaac Mwaura, CBS government spokesperson. He is a senior policymaker who can make a difference in people's lives where it matters most. Not to forget his impact on youth leadership. Number tumpigie makofi. Now, following suit is Ferkini Jacobs, that's PS State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Now, he has been in spotlight from his days as student leader at Masai Mara University and Pwani University, and he previously also served as the director of the Governor's Service Delivery Unit in Kilifi County. Makofi. Tafadhali. Karibu sana. And now our host, Dr. Jane Imbunya, PS State Department of Public Service and Human Capital Development. Now, as a passionate educator and leader, she has dedicated her career to shaping the future of education and public service, not only in Kenya, but Africa as a whole. Now, she strives in creating systems and policies that empower individuals and communities to reach their full potential. Let's... Fantastic. Tumpigie makofi. Now we have a CHRP, Qureshi Abdullahi, Executive Director of IHRM. Now, Qureshi Abdullahi is a dedicated and certified human resource professional with a passion for driving positive change in the field. Currently, he serves as the Executive Director of the Institute of Human Resource Management, also known as IHRM Kenya, and a prestigious organization entrusted with the responsibility of regulating HR policies, practices within the country. Let's appreciate him. Now, following suit is Professor Nur Mohammed, Director General, Kenya School of Government. Nur Mohammed is the Director General of KSG and is responsible for policy making, overseeing administration and management of the school, providing strategic leadership for delivery of the school's mandate and strategic objectives. Quite a heavy panel. Let's appreciate her. Asante. And further, we have Dr. Kai Chilume, CEO, Huduma Kenya Secretariat. Mr. Chilume was appointed to the position in May 2023, taking over from its predecessor, and is an experienced accountant with over 2 decades of professional experience in both public and private sectors. Naomba makofi hapo pia. And we also have Angela Mulinga, Director of Youth Affairs, Office of the President. Angela is a seasoned public servant and currently serves as the Director of Youth in the Executive Office of the President of Republic of Kenya. In this capacity, she leads strategic policy engagement, coordination, and implementation of youth-centered programs. Let us also appreciate Dr. Angela. Now, so the target, ladies and gentlemen, here is to engage young employees in the public service and provide a platform to share their experiences, challenges, and expectations, insights that will inform policy design, in turn, planning and reform initiatives, foster a culture of openness and inclusivity in the public service, leadership, and motivative, and inspire young professionals, contribute actively in public service transformation. With that said, let us pass on the baton to our chief guests, who are the youth. Let's first off appreciate each and every one of you for making it here. Tujipigie makofi. Asanteni. All right, so with immediate effect, we're going to throw it to the youth when it comes to matters, understanding, airing out their challenges. So we're picking questions immediately. Which one of us would like to go first? Can I see some hands? Throwing it to the youth. There's a microphone that is roaming around. Okay. So you introduce yourself, and then we also gave Daktari a chance to speak on it. All right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert. I'm from the Kenya School of Government. I specialize in philosophy and government at Masai Mara University. So my question goes to our leaders of today and the current regime, the current system. Okay, I have 4 specifications. The first specification is digital governance, civic tech. From digital governance and civic tech, I have one question. From users to co-creators, Gen Zs in designing government tech solutions. The question, can the government create a Gen Z digital fellowship program placed within key ministries, ICT, National Treasury, Public Service to audit and redesign key digital services for usability, accessibility, and efficiency? So that's my first question from digital governance and civic tech. Then my second question is from the specification number 2, modernizing recruitment and human resource. Topic is, meritocracy skills and new pathways into services. My question, will the Public Service Commission, PSC, consider skill-based assessments, e.g. coding tests, strategic comms simulations, data analysis tasks to carry equal or greater weight than academic certificates for technical roles? That is the second question. My third question from specification 3, cultivating a new ethical and innovative culture, building a public service that Gen Zs can believe in. What concrete steps taken to protect whistleblowers and genuinely reward integrity so that young employees are empowered to call out malpractices without fear of retaliation? Now my last question, number 4, from specification, policy co-creation and engagement. Beyond tokenism, meaningful youth participation in policy drafting. How can the government integrate digital participatory budgeting tools and policy simulation platform to allow tech survey youth to engage directly with fiscal and policy choices? Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Harry?
Yeah, thank you so much for the many questions. I am the convener of today's fireside chat with our youth in public service. It is important, therefore, that I put context to why we all are here. We have oil fields in Lokicha Basin in Turkana County. In Kakamega County, Ikolomani, we have gold. Many would look at those as the asset that Kenya has. But allow me this evening to affirm and assure you that besides all those assets that we have, the greatest of them all is you seated with us here this evening and those of our youth and Gen Zs at home. Can you clap for yourselves? And that's the reason why we gather here. It's a fireside chat because we are redefining public service and leadership through dialogue. In the recent past, the youth of Kenya have proved that you have what it takes to shape the current and the future of this country. You have very decisive voices and energies. Those voices have been heard. Those energies and your presence has been felt. And therefore, this evening, you come here courtesy of the State Department of Public Service and Human Capital Development to express yourselves fully so that whatever policies we make moving forward, your voices are carried. Hence the theme for today's fireside discussion and this chat. The theme of it speaks to you. Your voices when it comes to the future of public service. We are here to mingle. We are here to dialogue. We are not here to speak at each other. We are here to speak to one another. So may I take this opportunity to say, Gen Z, oye! Gen Z, this is your evening. Kenya is listening. We are giving you your ears. And I'll allow our senior, the government spokesperson, to take the first questions.
So, I am very happy, Dr. Jane Imbunya. You are doing a great job in your State Department. Absolutely amazing. This has never happened before. Let's clap for her. It's absolutely amazing, changing the face of government when it comes to public service delivery. And I'm happy because there has been a disconnect between the character of the public service and the population. Our population is, the median age is 19.7 years. But then we have kind of a little bit of a rigid public service, and so we need to engage with you so that you see the opportunities that are there. In my office, PS, I have actually the greatest employees in my office. The number are actually the Gen Zs themselves. The age varies from 20 years to 57 years, and majority are the young people, because in communication, you need these young tech-savvy Kenyans, because they are the ones who know how to communicate with their fellow Gen Zs and to push the government agenda. So what I want to say, in short, is that there is opportunity for the youth within government. I myself, who is seated here today, the first government engagement I had was at the age of 22 years. That's when I was first appointed as a director of a state agency, the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. And then I was employed as a young person that time. So I believe it is possible to actually serve your country when you're young. Indeed, I became an advisor to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya at the age of 28. I became a member of parliament at the age of 30. So you who is seated here, there are opportunities. Don't say, kile tu naona tu kuna sangine kidogo PS and moderator wetu hapa. Majenzi kuna venye hiyo time ya kuamka jo kuna shida kidogo. Hapo kuna venye mnataka flexible time, alama mjuu kungara hii masuti tu yetu mnataka kuvaa kama sasa hapo ndio unapata kuna shida na hairstyle. But in terms of talent, the vibrancy, actually nyinyi ndio mnashika. Sijui kama nikusema vizuri nikisema kushika nari. Yaani kuna venye mnafanya, yani ofisi inakuwa na moto. When I look at my office, for example, and this is the people who have come as attachis, those who have come as PSIP interns, they are the ones who are moving that office. So thumbs up, you have an opportunity to serve your country. And just know that when you get an opportunity to serve, it is not to an individual, it's to God and country.
Thank you very much. For the PS.
Gen Z power. Yes, that's the signature. So, my name is Fikrin Jacobs, the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. I couldn't miss out an opportunity to join my colleague PS, Dr. Kere Jane Imbunya, in the occasion of this fireside chat with the young people in the public service. I think, historically speaking, the public service is one of the most traditional conservative systems within our governance structures world over. And I think while we have experienced a lot of generational transitions, it is fair that sometimes we create a moment to come and listen from their own lived experiences, so that then we can be able to reshape the future of public service. I believe, and as has been rightly indicated by the government spokesperson, that for the little experience that I've had to interact with the public service, both at the county government and right now at the national government platform, I think the young people, the fresh minds who join the public service right from their universities or colleges, bring one of the most pragmatic energies, which is a long overdue for some of the systems and processes of public service to be able to move. But even as we move, I think it's always fair. And that's why I congratulate my senior. Other than being a PS, I religiously refer to her as my mom. I appreciate her for this kind of initiative. And I know, and maybe to challenge all of you, dear comrades in public service, that I know the nature of public service is such that many times you wouldn't be free to ask a question or raise a concern or give a suggestion before your peers or your seniors. But this evening, Mom calls us to a different order. So we are free to share, so that then we can also pick these good suggestions that you have, so that then we can reshape the public service for God and country, but also for the current and the future generations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Madam PS, before we get to you, there was a question that the young gentleman was asking in matters integrity. And even as the rest of the panelists introduce themselves and give their take on this event, we can start off with that. How do you merge matters integrity, the youth, and this is under, of course, the public service. So we'll start off with you, spokesperson.
amazing because young people hawa watu wanajua kusema ukweli na wajua kuficha. Sometimes it rubs off at being a little bit not very polite. Una venye majenzi zingine mkituzungumzia tunaona bwana Kashima kameenda chini kidogo hivi. But I like the fact that you have been able to make us to be more accountable. And we as leaders are responding because we are listening and we are here. That's why Dr. Imbunya has called all of us here to be with you. As a mother, you know, as a leader, as a university don, you know, as a very dynamic, patriotic Kenyan and a woman of integrity. So that then we listen to you and we hear what are your concerns. And you know now, the kind of people that we are dealing with today are young, educated, tech savvy, and you know, it's not like before where the information is coming from one direction, from government to the people. No, it's also from the people to the government. And from my experience now as a government spokesman now for the last nearly 2 years, is that we even get suggestions from you. So the issue of integrity is good because with this technology, it's not very easy to hide something, and we are ready to be accountable. So I think I want to say the public service is becoming more and more automated. Now we are doing the EGP, we are doing other, so that people can see transparently what is happening. And that way, we are going to get better governance. By the way, even now as we speak, we are live on NTV, but also you can follow live on our TikTok because we are going that direction. Spokesperson GOK and also our X account, because we want everyone to actually get what we are saying. Integrity is key if Kenya is to move forward, and the Gen Zs are the fulcrum that pushes that towards the right direction.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and allow me to speak to the questions our Gen Z has asked, and congratulations. You know, the course is doing philosophy in government. Those are the talents we need. And Madam PS, I want to speak from HR perspective. I've been in this field for the last 19 years, and I'm also very passionate about youth, for very deliberate reason, because I come from the marginalized community and we face the same problems with the Gen Zs. And what he raised, basically, if I just look at the first question about digital governance and civic techs. Now, we're living in an era, it's no longer about the Internet of Things, we're in the AI era. And who is able to do that? It's our Gen Z. So, Madam PS, when they're in our space, we should also be willing to let go of the bureaucracies. I know the law process making within our country is hectic, but the ministry is also assigned policy making for HR. So as things emerge, we should be more than willing to tap into his skills and inform policy decisions. There is nothing that we will lose, but keep up with the rest of the world. And I also want to touch, he talked about skill-based when it comes to meritocracy and referring to the public service. You know, the beauty of online recruitment, which I know since COVID, the Public Service Commission has gone fully automated, even doing some interviews online. It has given opportunity of equality. And if you look at their reports, the values and principle reports that they've been doing, you can see there is change in terms of even how we employ, because you're no longer required to travel to Nairobi to do that interview. They are doing the interviews online. So there are some wins that the government has already done. And I want to speak to culture. And Madam PS, there's something that is misunderstood, whereby we should allow, just because someone is Gen Z, they should show up at work however they feel dressed. You know, when you set a code, the dress code, for example, is a culture. And when it's been shared with you up front and you've agreed to it, then coming in to change, then it takes a process. And we all understand change is a process. But I'm also a firm believer that if the trust is there, the policies are set, the objective of that individual is clear, then the workplace is no longer a place, but it's a space whereby as long as you have your tools, you can work from anywhere, but we must have established the trust, you know your objectives, and also you can meet your deliverables. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy that this gentleman studied philosophy, and you know yours truly is a graduate of philosophy from Pwani University. So I'm happy to meet a colleague. Too bad during my time I was the only student in my class, so I'm happy to meet the second student now in my class. I think on the issue of integrity in public service, especially for youth who have joined the public service, you see, over and above being a young person, as soon as we sign into public service, we are public officers. The issue of integrity is guaranteed in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 10, Article 232, which talks about values in public service, you know, how a public servant should conduct themselves. And I think an abstract has been laid, you know, on why there could be some conflicting, you know, conduct as far as the young people within public service is concerned. But I think I wish to reiterate the position of the Constitution in public service. The basic minimum expectation from a public officer, regardless of age, I think is clearly spelled out in the Constitution on how we need to conduct ourselves, ethically so and professionally so. And I think the aspect of integrity is fair. The question was, how do we reward integrity, especially in terms of protecting whistleblowers, maybe within public service? And I think a conversation I held earlier with the Professor Noura Mohammed, the Director General of KCG, was talking to the role of the Gen Zs within public service in the Gen Z accountability protest last year. Because I understand within the public service, there are Gen Zs who, a majority of you here, who felt like they were a little bit pushed to the wall, and because they could not speak because of the fear that actions could be taken against them, sometimes they could release information maybe to the young people in the streets, who then they could use that same information, you know, as part of their riot agenda. And the reason being the fear that when you speak within the public service, you may face some challenges. And I think now the first definition of redefining or reshaping public service is such that we can guarantee space for young people within public service to speak freely. I think to the leaders, beginning with the principal secretary, who among other responsibilities has the responsibility of taking care of the human resource, including you as the young people within public service. So that should not be a challenge. I think maybe what we need to embrace is with the change in generational, the generational changes comes along with the fact that other than the principles of governance, we are bringing young people who are a little bit free, brilliant, and would want to openly express themselves. Right. And I think we give that kind of space so that you can express yourselves, so that we can also guarantee your protection, and we can maybe use your suggestions to reshape public service. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. Yes, let's appreciate him. I'd like to pass over the microphone to Abdullahi. Thank you. I'd like for, okay, also Ms. Noura Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Madam Principal Secretary, for convening this important, I think, reflection meeting. Generally, I think the question which was posed by one of our own from Kenya School of Government is really on the whole issue of capacity, the whole issue of governance and accountability, and the issue of future-ready, young leaders in the public sector. From where I sit, as Kenya School of Government, when we first, I first came in as a Director General, the first thing I did was to establish one very important critical pillar. We call it youth empowerment programs, where Peter Quest here is the one in charge. Madam Secretary, the first thing, there are 4 or 5 things that we did recently we convened a meeting of young leaders from the state corporation, and the reason for that, for convening that meeting, is for us to reflect on one agenda. We call it the Kenya we want. And so therefore then, what we did is that in that Kenya we want, during that time there are 5 critical things that young leaders mentioned, and he said that it must be moved forward. One of the things that we are going to convene in November as Kenya School of Government under able leadership of our Principal Secretary is what we call the intergenerational dialogue. That will be in November coming up, so that then we have the 2-generational dialogue, the younger generation and the older generation in the public service, so that then we reflect on what worked, what didn't work, what are some of the things that in the public service that we must stop doing, what are some of the things that we must start doing, or what are some of the things that we do differently. Second, Madam PS, other than that, there's a movement we have started, together with the young leaders, called the Kenya We Want movement under the 3 Series program. We want to reach to that young person in the village, and we call it, under the 3 Series program, which we are convening very soon. The third one is what they proposed, Madam PS, is that we develop, instead of the senior management course, which is normally academy-based, or a strategic leadership development program, which is academy-based, we develop a very specialized leadership program for young leaders, and we call it a transformative young leaders program targeting the young leaders in the public sector, so that then they also manage the whole issue of succession management, as well as, again, as guided by our Principal Secretary. And finally, under the whole issue of accountability and governance and integrity issue, Madam PS, they propose that we start what we call exemplary leadership series program, where then we catch public servants doing the right thing. Most of the time, Madam PS, we talk of corruption and negativity in the public service. There are quite a number of great people in the public sector. So therefore then, we are going to start a series of leadership program called Exemplary Leadership Series Program, where the phrase is catch them doing the right thing. With all this, Madam PS, therefore then, we coined all this under one critical theme called Growing Our Young Leaders Program, which we are working with PS Fikirini. Of course, under your able leadership, we'll be able to bring about the transformation required. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, Professor. Tumpigie makofi. So at this juncture, due to the interest of time, we'd like to go back to our youth for the question and answer session. Now, for the question, you're allowed to ask just one question. We're going to put them all down, and then we come back to our panelists so that everyone can pick the question that they are involved in and give an in-depth understanding via explanation.
To our youth, this is our day, okay? This is our day. There's nothing official about today. We are here to speak to each other na kusikia wasee wanasema nini, sivyo? Kwa hivyo tufanye nini? Tuchangamke, sivyo? Tuchangamke. Swali moja, mpatie mwenzako nafasi, naye pia ulize swali, ili tuweze kuwasikiza nyinyi nyote, sivyo? Haya, si tuchangamke. Changamka. Nani amechangamka? Changamkeni bwana. Okay, can I also assist there? Next question. Can we quickly, just one question at a time? Yes? It's our day, it's our show, okay? Kwani iko nini? Yeah, next. Yes, can we quickly? Yeah, it was you. Yes. Where's the mic? Can we have the mic? Let's move. Yes. Always a teacher. Yes.
Thank
Go ahead.
Madam PS, for this opportunity.
Yes.
My name is Daisy Bulungu, Assistant Secretary, Ministry of Interior and National Administration. My question today is based on our officers. Our core mandate as national security is to secure the country. And some of the issues that our officers are facing in the ground are traumatic. We are dealing with sexual violence. We are dealing with gender violence. We are dealing with cattle lasting, a lot of insecurity issues that are causing trauma to our officers. My concern comes in where the public service is offering counseling services or psychological evaluation for officers to be secure and to be in the right mind frame to deal with these issues at the administrative level and as a security officer in the ground. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much. I'll take that one. The next question. Maybe we can move this side. Make it very brief so that we can interact with as many of you as possible.
Good evening, madam. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Sandra Jane from IHRM, currently an intern. My question was, how can the public service explore flexible or modern work arrangements? For example, the flexi work mode. You can work from home and also work in the office on different days. That's all. Thank you.
The Director for Youth, Office of the Presidency, you take that one on flexi jobs. Next. Yeah, come for the mic. Just shoot straight to the question. Please tell us when we can break, okay? Yeah, so let's move.
Hi, Madam. I'm Caroline from the Office of the Marginalized and Minority Affairs Unit. And my question is, how is the public service ensuring the inclusivity for marginalized youth, including those from rural areas and under-reserved communities? Because most of the youth there, they are learned, they have the capabilities, but they lack the opportunities and to be employed in the public service. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping it short. Madam Margaret from HRM-PEB, you take that one. One more from here, and then I saw a hand. Oh, yes.
Thank you. My name is Jerry Okumu with the Kenya School of Government as a research fellow. Now, my question is...
A bit louder.
Sorry. My question is matters succession planning. Now, a large segment of the workforce is nearing the retirement age. This creates urgent succession risks. So what other than training, what are the measures being taken to ensure that, a good number of youth are absorbed into the force? Probably, I would suggest mandatory hiring quotas, where we say if we could have at least 20 to 30% of youth in the recruitment processes that are absorbed to the workforce. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. Can we take the answers?
Madam PS, as we take the questions, we'll start off with the voices we've not had. Mulinge? Remember, there were 4 questions. Thank you very much, Madam PS. Naomba tumpigie makofi, Madam PS, tafadhali. Amechangamka tena sana. Yeah? All right. Mulinge?
Thank you, my sister. My name is Angela. I'm the Director Youth, Executive Office of the President. And salutation to my elder sister, Principal Secretary, Public Works, young officers present, and online audience. Tonight, we are here to listen to your youthful voices and convert insight into action. On matters flexible work arrangements, during COVID time, everything changed. And as we're speaking now, there are policies which are supposed to be curated by the government so that everything can fit to its own. For example, we have some people on the freelancing areas working on project by project basis with multiple clients and companies. For example, the work areas. If you're a freelancer, maybe you're in Nairobi, Machakos, or in remote areas like where my sister comes from, that is Northeastern. There are those policies, they are being worked on, and I think my elder brother Mwaura can be in a better position to handle on that issue of policy making. Thank you.
Next was Madam Margaret.
My name's CHRP, Margaret Ngu, that is Certified Human Resource Professional. The CEO, HRM-PEB, Human Resource Management Professionals Examinations Board. And what we do, because it includes the youth, we do curricula for HR professionals. We examine the HR professionals and we certify them. I will now go to the question about what the public service, the government, and the society at large is doing about the marginalized youth so as to accord them opportunities. And I want to believe that marginalized youth in this case is implying that the youth have been forgotten. That most of the opportunities have been uptaken by the middle age to the elderly. But I want to say that if we look at the way the government is operating today, it's about youth. We have projects and programs for the youth. For bodies like mine, we are actually doing outreach in the TVET institutions and universities because we want to include the youth. We want to give them the competencies that they require so that they are well baked for the job market. And therefore, the youth have not been forgotten. And that's why we even have a ministry that deals with the youth. And therefore, my encouragement to the youth is that you are not marginalized. Grab the opportunities. Do not choose. Look at where the opportunities are and just grab them, because the future is actually the youth. The middle age, the a bit older are exiting the space, but the youth are the ones that we have. They are the ones who are taking over. And therefore, take courage, grab the opportunities, and take over. But of course, you must have the right attitude, and you must have the competencies that are required for you to prove that you can actually take over, lead, work, and build this nation.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you so much. I take the question on counseling. We will all agree that many people, many of us who need counseling, we don't come forward. And it's very difficult for us to know who needs help. We have taken a step to ensure that that is taken care of. We have trained 1,630 counseling champions. These are supposed to help us to identify, diagnose where there is a problem that needs assistance, so they refer those to us. The second point that is very important for you as our young civil servants, our youthful civil servants, we now have 2 policies. Those policies are going to be launched in this institution, KSG. Those policies will do 2 things. The first one is to ensure that we sensitize government enough on the need to take mental wellness very seriously. And number 2, to ensure that anybody who needs that help receives quality medical care. And because I'm on the floor, I wish to let all of us know that counseling is not only, we do not confine it, as a State Department, we do not confine it to only our employees. It is you and all your dependents. And to any other Kenyan who requires counseling services, we ask you this evening, get to any Huduma Center. We also have a telecounseling center, 1919. That number works 24 hours in a day. We shall be able to reach you. We understand how it, COVID came, lifestyle has changed the rhythm of doing things. So we all need mental wellness. Please make use of our directorate. It's led by a very able secretary known as Willie Sombima. And he has a raft of officers who are there to assist you anytime that you come forward.
Thank you, Madam Pierce. Let's also hear from Mr. Chiluma. Asanteni sana, tumpige makofi. Chiluma.
Thank you. My name is CPA Benkai Chilumo, the CEO of Huduma Kenya. Now, first I want to announce to you that 80% of the staff of Huduma Kenya are youth. That's confirmation that the government has not forgotten youth in the public service. Number two, I want to say that youth, as we always say, are not the leaders. People say youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but I want to agree with you that you say youth are the leaders of today. And the reason I agree with you is because you cannot be a leader of today. There is no way you can be a leader of tomorrow if you cannot lead yourself today. So for those progressive youth who want to lead, to take leadership position, first they must lead now by leading themselves. They lead their profession, they lead their emotions, they lead their character, they lead their integrity. Once you are done with leading yourself, then you can be a leader of today. Hamnipigie makofi hapo. And I want to emphasize that in this space where the youth are, it is the port of innovation, and I have evidence from Huduma Kenya that there are a number of innovations that youth have come up with. And that is why today, as I tell you that in Huduma we have 80% youth, you can also agree with me, Huduma Kenya is still the talk of the day as far as public service transformation. Sio ni ukweli? So if 80% of the staff are youth and Huduma is shining, can't we see the endless possibilities of youth in the public service? And this is about leadership. So I want to encourage the youth in public service that once you start leading yourself, then you can start thinking of being a leader of today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take more questions from the floor, Madam Pierce, if you allow, due to the interest of time. Yes, let's take 3 more questions, and we keep our questions as short as possible, and also keep our answers as short as possible. You know, we've had so many ladies speaking. Watasema hatupendi wanaume.
Yes. Kindly be very brief. Then, yeah.
Shukran sana. Kwanza nianze kwa kuweza kumwongera Fikrini Jacobs kwa kuweza kuteuliwa, na leo iko siku yangu ya kuweza kutangamana nawe na swali. Swali langu ni kwamba kuja ujio wa AI na pia ukiweza kuangalia kwamba utandawazi na mitandao unakuwa kwa kasi. Swali langu ni je, serikali imeweka mikakati ipi kuhakikisha kwamba vijana ambao wako na talanta mbalimbali hawezi kupoteza nafasi za kazi baada ya ujio wa AI na pia upanuzi wa utandawazi?
Asante sana.
Thank you, Madam PS. My name is Peter Makali from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. My question goes direct to you. In the recent past, we have seen young officers within the fields. I work in the field. Frequent transfers, and yet they have a young family. You get to see they have children in school, going in school, and she's working here in Nairobi, then she's transferred to Nyeri. So those kind of frequent transfers are affecting these young officers. Thank you.
Thank you. We got you. Yes.
Thank you, Madam PS, for this opportunity. My name is Oprah Nyaboke. I work as a PSIP intern at the Office of the Government Spokesperson. Straight to my question, there has been a gap between the Gen Zs and the older generations, which is the millennials and Gen X. So how is the public service adapting its culture, communication styles, and work environments to bridge the gap between Gen Zs and older generations, especially in terms of values, technology, and expectations of transparency and flexibility?
Government spokesperson, you'll take that one. Next question, quickly.
Thank you very much. I'm Milka Kawera from the Office of the Deputy President. Mine is a simple question. As young people striving to serve our country, how will the State Department support our professional growth and create mentorship opportunities within the public service?
Thank you so much. Next, please, a second for you. Oh my, here.
Thank you for me. My name is Clinton from Teacher Service Commissioner Teacher. Mine is just paint a picture of the public service of the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Last here, can we quickly? Then
Madam,
we have...
Madam PS.
Thank you, Madam PS. My name is Wangari, courtesy of HRMPEP. My question for you today is, how can partnerships between government, private sector, and the civil society expand opportunities for the youth participation?
Thank you so much. We will moderate here. Answers now. Let me begin with mine about public servants being transferred. That is how it has to be. When we identify a skills gap and there is a saturation of the same skill in whichever area you are, we have to serve Kenya. We've taken an oath to serve. So let's be willing to serve. Now, let's go to the answers. Yeah, very quickly, because we don't have time, isn't it? And we were here to speak.
Thank you so much. Ndugu ameniuliza swali la jinsi gani artificial intelligence tunaweza tukaisaidia, lakini kuhakikisha kwamba pia haifanyi vijana wakakosa nafasi za ajira. Kwanza, artificial intelligence kwa Kiswahili ni akili mnemba. Sasa njia ambayo tunaweza tukatumia akili mnemba isiweze kukosesha nafasi za ajira vijana wetu katika taifa la Kenya, kwanza ni kuhakikisha kwamba tumeitumia katika utafiti na uzinduzi ili tuweze kuongeza ala za kutengeneza ama mazao. Kwa njia hiyo tutapata vijana wengi zaidi wamepata nafasi za ajira kuliko ile fikra ya kwamba tukileta artificial intelligence itafuta kazi vijana. So the moment we embrace artificial intelligence and use it in research, we will increase production, and that means we will expand the demand for opportunities for many of our youth. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, government spokesperson.
Akili mnemba sio binadamu mnemba, nakwambia. Kwa hivyo usifikiri kwamba ni binadamu wenzako. I think I want to answer some few questions that have been asked. Number one, sasa kama kwangu kwa ofisi yangu, one of the things that I've done with my Gen Zs is that we, instead of having a physical meeting, we are meeting a lot online. Like today we met online for about almost 4 hours. And a lot of work is being done. Also people working remotely, as long as the work is done, mimi sina shida. Bora unaweza kuwa kwa computer hapo na hakuna kenye unafanya. Then number two, haraka story inclusion. We are now coming up with inclusive communication guidelines to even those who are marginalized, and Lowoi and your team, you're doing a very good job at the executives of the president. Also, by the way, we have some young CEO here who is 35-year-old, the CEO of the National Gender and Equality Commission, Dr. Purity Ngenath, the youngest in mathematics. Mnamuona hapo, ni Gen Z mwenzenu. Then also, with Professor Nura here, we have come up with a communications curriculum, and I'm happy because we also have an AI course here. We had a meeting with the PSS, and we even want to train our PSS on AI. So there's a future here, and in my office, I've actually gotten one scholarship for a young person to do AI course. And then finally, because we don't have time, I wish we had more time, manze majenzi, wase wazae wanaenda kuretire. In the next, I think 5 years, tunaritaisha watu 56K kwa hii gava. So kuna opportunity. Kuja, we apply, usiseme ati lazima ujue mse, uapply alafu utasakaja hiyo job kwa gava. Asanteni sana.
I hear we have 2 minutes to go off air. So, Madam Kuresha.
Thank you. I actually wanted to add on the issues of AI. You know, people understand AI that it's going to take away jobs, but trust me, as we lose 92 million jobs, there will be 172 million jobs created. So the person who will lose a job is the person who fails to learn how to use AI right now. And I'm glad that we already have the database, and I hope you've applied to the courses. I applied. I hope, Prof, you will approve me. But I also, on succession planning, Madam PS, someone raised question about how are we transitioning youth to make sure that they're in the succession planning. I know there is a voice for the youth presidency here, director, but because I prepared for this, I just wanted to assure you that this current administration signed an agreement with the youth, and one of them was to increase internship, mentorship, and also remove some barriers in terms of the experience required, which I know together with the ministry as IHRM, we are working together to ensure that the entry jobs, you are able to apply as youth, because that is what this administration has committed to, and we must fulfill. So the succession planning is intact. the workforce as we exit. You've seen in nowadays we don't have anyone above 60 unless it's by policy of PWD. So a lot is happening, and I'm sure all of you, your contribution, even those who are interning, you've been attached to different people to mentor you. Thank you.
Thank you. As we go off air, the conversation is continuing. I am moderating part of that session, and your own youth PS Fikirini, okay? The conversation continues.
As you heard, the conversation is going to continue, but I think it's time to throw it back to programming right there in NTV. Thank you very much.
Can you cut?